Well, here's what we know. AJ Ramos looked really good in that SNY shirt. I think you and I should be a little bit concerned for our livelihoods in the future.
The only thing is he wants to cut off the sleeves.
I want to show off the tattoos.
You should. Gary Appleback alongside Nelson Figueroa. AJ Ramos is here. Let's get into some baseball stuff. And by the way, you were really good doing that interview with Michael Conforto. So, you know, a little change in the bullpen this year. Mickey Callaway has talked about the fact he's not going to have defined roles at the back end of the bullpen. I know you're somebody who likes to have a routine during the course of a game to get ready late in a game. How do you adjust along those lines with this new mentality?
Well, definitely. I mean, I'm starting to work on it during spring training. I mean, he gave us the opportunity, or he told us early enough to kind of build your own routine to kind of prepare for the season. So what I'll do is I'll probably work out a little bit earlier and get my things started earlier instead of, you know, later on. Usually first few innings I kind of chill, watch the game a little bit on TV so I can get the feel of the strike zone where the umpire's called and all that stuff, and then I'll work out. So I'll probably work out a little bit sooner and get out to the bullpen a couple innings sooner and start from there.
Consistency, I know, is something that's important for you, and the ERA went up a little bit after you came from the Marlins to the Mets. How do you find that consistency?
Well, being on a consistent team, I guess.
Yeah. Does that make a difference?
Yeah, definitely. Well, and then also pitching more consistently. Last year, for both teams, I was pitching every 5 days or something like that. I wasn't consistent. And I'm a guy that likes to work and continue to work. Just like anything else, the more you do it, the better you are. So that's kind of how I like to do it. And I think when I talk to everybody here, they're talking about, you know, not giving you too much time off in between, you know, pitching, because you want to stay sharp, but also limiting your pitches and kind of going off of that as well to kind of not push you too much.
Yep, makes sense.
When you look at the model that's there for the Cleveland Indians and you have a stopper, talk about not having a set closer. Familiar could be that stopper like an Andrew Miller to go into the big moment in a game, 6th, 7th inning. Closing duties could fall to you. You feel comfortable with that already?
Definitely. I mean, that's the thing with me. I've pitched. We're in the 6th inning, and I've pitched in the 9th inning. I've done both things, and I'm developing all my pitches and being more confident with them, with all my pitches. I have 5 pitches, so and now I'm starting to learn how to backdoor them and this and that and be more comfortable with it. So I think that's kind of going to help me out, and also I can go multiple innings, you know. So it's either way, whether I pitch in the 6th or in the 9th, whenever they call my name, I'm going to be ready.
Yep. The other thing that you also do is you kind of keep the clubhouse loose, as you can see with that little tape of us having some fun with you. That is very important for a team. Do you plan to be not the class clown, but a guy that can always mix it up?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I do like to play around. I just keep it loose, because when you're loose, I mean, it's like throwing a punch. If you throw a punch and you're too tense, you know, it's not going to go out that hard. So you got to be loose, got to have that looseness in you, and you got to be able to be yourself in the clubhouse. A lot of times people are too tense, and that carries over onto the field, and they can't perform the way that they normally perform because of they're too tense. So you kind of, especially if they play bad or whatever, you know, just keep it loose, because it is baseball. You are going to play bad. You are going to fail. That's what this game is about. But it's about coming back from that failure and proving yourself and proving to yourself that you're still that person that can perform day in, day out.
What do you make of the dynamic of not just a new pitching coach, right, in Dave Island, but a new manager who was a pitching coach in Cleveland? There's 2 great pitching minds right there. How do you utilize that?
Well, you pick their brains. You know, you pick their brains, and right now they're still in the phase with me. With everyone, they're watching because they don't know everybody yet. So they kind of watch and see what you do. They're going to wait till we play in a couple games. And he even said individually he's going to call people in and kind of tell them individually what they maybe not need to work on, but just what they expect out of us. And then that's whenever I'll probably ask, you know, what can I do to get better? Because obviously, you know, last year it was a down year for me, but I know that there's still more potential in me, and you know, with the way this spring is going, I feel like I'm gonna get to it.
You know, knowing and watching your career, you know, you're a guy who 202 against righties, 197 against lefties. So when you look at a staff that's so stat-oriented and trying to find the matchups, you're a guy that can match up against both. I'm sure you relish that opportunity.
Definitely. I mean, the changeup has a lot to do with that with the lefties. That's one of my biggest pitches, and then the slider with the righties, and being able to backdoor my slider on both sides of the plate, and my changeup being, and this year I'm working on, you know, getting that changeup on the other side as well. So keeping them off balance is something that's big for me. And then what I really want to do, working on as well too, is my cutter inside and outside. So I'm working on both sides of the plate instead of just throwing it up there and trying to make them miss. So I think that's, you know, that's kind of how I got by a lot of the way. Just here it comes, you know. But now, you know, I'm starting to focus on it a little more and kind of, you know, hit spots a little bit more consistently.
All right, let's finish on this right here, because this was made a little bit of news, some headlines. You've got a very good friend who you played with in Miami who now plays across town by the name of Giancarlo Stanton. One of the big boppers in the game today. Are you actually going to room with him?
Yeah, I think that's
going down?
probably going to happen. Yeah,
really?
we're looking for places. But like I said before, during that Subway series, I might leave a bowl of eggs under his bed, some fish under his pillow to kind of get him that sleep, get his sleep messed up so we can,
I love it.
Take it
I love
out
it.
there. Yeah.